Although I have not made a video for a minute, there are blockbuster developments happening in game that totally need to be talked about and need our attention. This week in sports, we have Shannon leaving undisputed. We got a whole lot of different industry stuff going on. And in Rise of Kingdoms, well, I'll let you see for yourself.
It is not clickbait that the thumbnail of this video said that Bunny is quitting Rise of Kingdoms. And in this video, I will show you, in his own words, his message that he shared with 𝗿𝗏𝗶𝗄, that he's quitting the game. It's the end. And not only is it the end of his time in the game, but we're cooked in this 𝗂𝗏𝗂. We're done ski.
Crazy, huh? Let's talk about it. What's up, guys, and welcome back. We have a lot to talk about today. I have not made a video in quite some time. It's been the off season for us pretty much, and haven't really had a lot of content to make videos about. But today, something crazy happened. Really bombshell, life-changing in-game stuff. As you probably are aware, if you haven't heard or you've been living under a rock or whatever, 254, the kingdom that 𝗪𝗏 is in, and a lot of other high-profile players in Rise of Kingdoms, is effectively no more. There's a lot to break down there, so I'll try to do my best. A couple of weeks ago, 𝗪𝗏 made a video saying that Smash Squad and another alliance were leaving, after 𝗂𝗏𝗃, and then, we fast forward, we get to 𝗂𝗏𝗃. They're in the new format of 𝗂𝗏𝗃. I think it's Orleans, whatever, however you pronounce it. Which ironically is the format of Siege of Orleans. There we go. We just entered that 𝗂𝗏𝗃 in 79 ourselves. And so we got an opportunity to kind of look at firsthand how it's done, how it's played, what to do, what not to do, and all of those sorts of things, right? So one of the major things I think that we learned from watching 254 play that game mode is there is no such thing as a garrison when the third auxiliary skill is unlocked. And let me show you what I mean by that. So if we go to auxiliary skills, you'll see that there's 3 that you can possibly equip to your commander. And they unlock at various stages in Lost Kingdom Chronicle in the game, right? So at some point, you're going to have all 3 of these skills unlocked. You get a currency with which to buy them, and that currency accumulates automatically as time progresses. It kind of regenerates, kind of like your AP. And you can spend that currency to unlock auxiliary skills, right? So let me find someone that doesn't have one. He's not in the city. So yeah, they give you a whole bunch of commanders. The thing I like about this is that you don't necessarily need bastion quests to unlock these commanders, which is really cool. But anyway, that's beside the point. Now, let's get back to how this relates to 254. So, essentially, Bunny announced that he is officially retiring. He's leaving Rise of Kingdoms. And, that came as a bombshell announcement to everyone. he is a legendary Rise of Kingdoms player. You know, if you've played against him or with him, you know, I think there's a mutual respect of him by mostly everyone who knows anything about this game. You know, I've had, you know, some conversations with him over time. I didn't really know him well. You know, I've never played against 254 in a KVK. I was allies with 𝗪𝗏𝗃 at one point. You know, we had, you know, a KVK together. So, but it's interesting to, when you think about the journey that in the evolution of 254 over time, right? You know, Smash Squad came to 254 from 75, I believe, and you know, they created kind of this behemoth juggernaut of a kingdom in the hopes that I'm sure they could continue to keep up and compete with, you know, the likes of, you know, BLN and, you know, 60GT and all of those type of alliances and kingdoms. So strategically, it was a smart move, or at least it looked to be a smart move on the surface. You know, for 𝗪𝗏𝗃, I think it was kind of a business decision because of the fact that essentially, you know, the challenge of running an expanding YouTube channel and covering multiple games and having a family life, work-life balance, it didn't really make sense for him to be in leadership anymore of a kingdom because it was just too much. And so he wanted to shift gears and kind of be a regular guy, right? Because that way he gets to play the game how he wants to play it, and, you know, help out. Hey, if you need me to garrison this, you know, flag, or, you know, need me to rally, do this, whatever, go here, swarm this down, I can do that. So that's kind of the role he took on in going to 254 with Bunny and him and Smash Squad, and you know, they did pretty well. But over time, you could see as they couldn't really easily win KVKs the way that it was initially thought they would. If you look at a lot of 𝗪𝗏𝗃's live streams, you'll notice he gets kind of frustrated at the chat. You know, and, you know, I get it. There's a lot of trolls and there's a lot of people from the opposition who are probably talking stuff to him, and, you know, and that is annoying, and it can be, you know, assholic. But at the same time, you know, he just starts censoring, you know, I shouldn't say he, but his moderators start, you know, censoring people from chat for small, you know, things like saying, are you okay, or are you tired? And then he's like, you know, if you wouldn't say that to someone in public, you know, don't say that in the chat, you know. But it's like, they're just asking a simple question. I mean, and if their intention is to troll, okay, that's fine. It's a game. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And I think 𝗪𝗏𝗃's frustration is that, you know, look, he spends a ton of money on this game with the expectation of winning. He has the best everything in terms of gear and commanders, and, you know, you put forth all that effort, all of that, those resources to waste in a losing effort. That is not fun. And then to be trolled on top of that, but is also not fun. And, you know, people, you know, making fun of you in the Facebook group and all of that. So I get his frustration. However, he's not like you and I, right? As a player, let's make that distinction, right? He is a sponsored content creator. Number one, he makes probably north of 100,000 a month from all of his endeavors with this game. You know, his YouTube revenue, his merch, his sponsorships, his super chats, his subscriptions. Think about it this way: if you ever go to his streams, look how many subscriptions he gets, because there's notifications that pop up on the screen every time someone sends him money, every time someone subscribes to his channel. Just do the math on those if you don't believe me, and extrapolate this out. And he's been doing this for about, what, full time he's only been doing it for like a year and a half, 2 years. But like, if you extrapolate that out, if you go back, 3 years, and you do that math for all the people who subscribe to his channel, his recurring revenues from that, and he has different tiers of membership, by the way. So if you just did simple math, the man easily makes, and I'm being conservative with 100,000. I believe it's way more if you really dug into the numbers, but I'm just going to call it 100 grand. All right. The man makes 100 grand a month plus. So, while it is kind of, tragic that 254 should end in such an ignominious way, I think his consolation prize is that he'll get to go on and still play. Some people are blaming, Smash Squad for the collapse of 254. I don't have any internal working knowledge of this, so honestly, I couldn't tell you one way or the other. Let me know in the comments what you guys think it is. If anybody does have any information about it, feel free to leave it in the comments. But from what is all being said on Facebook and Discord and through other mediums, this seems to have been the final nail in the coffin of something that was a long time coming. It's basically the confluence of many different factors that basically made it so that this was the last dance, so to speak. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely paradigm shifting, because now the balance of power will shift, because everybody's going to leave 254 and go to other kingdoms. Chisco's looking to organize and collect a group of whales to go off to a different kingdom. He hasn't yet identified the next kingdom he's going to be in, so we don't know. But I'm assuming eventually he'll announce that at some point. So, yeah, I mean, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. I mean, it's just nuts. Wow, it's definitely the end of an era. I mean, 254 as we know it is essentially no more. Sheesh. I mean, it's hard for me to even process, and I've just been, looking at different things online and trying to learn as much as I can about it. But, there's lessons to take from it, right? And one of the main things is that came to my attention is, look, Chisco made a point to say that piloting and field activity were largely the reasons why 254 was not able to compete for a victory, which in this KVK format appears to be the case. I mean, like I said, if you have all these auxiliary skills, right, and you're swarming a garrison that can only have 3, and you're swarming with potentially 50 to 100 of these skills, I mean, obviously that's, I don't know if the devs thought about this. I do love the fact, again, that you don't have to do Bastion Quest in order to accumulate these skills. That is pretty dope. But the skills do tip the favor and the balance of this KVK format towards the swarmers. So essentially, you don't even need to rally in this format. Once you get all 3 slots open and you get all your skills equipped, you can essentially swarm down any garrison with no rally. I mean, it's nuts. So if you don't have any field presence, you're going to be done. And 254 did not have the field presence required to compete for a win. They were off for 8 months. They got fat, bloated, and lazy to some extent. And the dead weight was not able to be shaved off because they weren't able to have frequent KVKs to kind of, trim that out. So as a result, this is what happened. I mean, this is a very stunning collapse. I mean, this is essentially like, what we see in sports with KD, Kyrie, and James Harden come together on the Nets and not even being able to make the playoffs. I mean, it's nuts when you think about it, right? But, hey, some people, the reasons that they gave, some people call it an excuse. Some people say, the better kingdoms won, whatever. I don't know. All I know is I'm looking at that and looking at us in the same KVK format now and thinking, what do we do that what do we do that they didn't do, and what do we not do that they did to help avoid the same fate? Fortunately, in our KVK, though, we are not as it's a little bit more even in terms of the competitive nature of our KVK. So that is nice. I'm not going to be able to spend the amount of money I did last KVK due to life circumstances, but it's been, basically 48 hours into Lost Kingdom, and I've been able to build my my research up. It's just nothing crazy. I mean, it's still like meh in the grand scheme of things. People are gonna pass me up, but we'll see. I don't know. I plan to give it my all. Probably went into KVK with more troops than I would have ideally liked to be honest. Probably going to be on a hook for a lot of deads and kills. Obviously that's what we want to do, but I like to stay in a certain particular account range, just so when I play Arc, I have enough troops not to die early. And other reasons. So, but the problem is, the more troops you have, the higher your requirements are, and you might get half those troops back, but it's like, if you're not spending money, it's hard to maintain that. And I got to figure out a way to get resources for this KVK because my gathering in the off season was ass because I was busy with life stuff. So and I also don't have the speed ups to clear out my hospital, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. We'll see. I'm gonna try to figure out a way to get 30 million kills this KVK, like I did last KVK, which was quite an accomplishment. It was the highest level of kills for a KVK that I've been in, because I've been a relatively modest spender, so it's the gear and everything doesn't allow for me to get if you're fighting with terrible tech, you're gonna get bad trades, and if you get bad trades, your hospital's gonna fill up faster. It's gonna be a more expensive KVK for you, so it's hard to get kills. You have to be very opportunistic. You have to snipe people. You have to slow people coming back from rallies and kill them off. You got to do all types of other things. Take taxis into enemy territory during downtimes and kill their farmers. You got to just get creative with the way you accumulate kills to some extent when you don't spend a lot of money. So, but I'm getting away from the topic. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about this momentous, crazy paradigm shift in the game. The future is uncertain. Chisco's going somewhere else. Bunny's quitting. Ruz is quitting. 254 as we know it has officially come to an end. And they have gone out with their final KVK, with the core group as we know them, with a stunning loss. Let me know what you think. I'll be back to make some more videos on the progress in this KVK, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we don't suffer the same fate as 254. Peace.